It would be
Mhm.
to scan your Amazon accounts for delays, because most of the time INRs are real. It's because of a delay or something. So when you scan your Amazons in advance, going back like 5 pages, to the customer and say, "Hi, your order is delayed. I'm so sorry about this. I'd be happy to give you a 10% refund. Just want to let you know that it's on its way and it's going to be delivered by this date instead."
I never let my customer take control of the INR cases. I control the conversation, right?
Mhm.
I never blame the carrier or anything like that. In fact, I sympathize with the carriers. So she's willing to actually lose money to get the
Mhm.
sales and get the data that she's gonna need to get out of the below standard. And on top of that, to get a higher sell through rate to make more sales and continue to make more sales.
What's up?
Yeah, I've had a couple of like I think four INRs in the past 2 days, and the sales have just gone down from 12 to 15 to one. That's very strange. So it's just been like 2 days now, but I'm just wondering because I don't know much about INRs. I thought as long as I'm refunding them, it should be fine. But I see on my account that the projected INR rate is 3.62 and the average is 0.16. So
Yeah,
I'm not sure what I need to do there.
I've had very high INR rates before. I don't know if I've ever gone to 3.6, but I've definitely been in the very high category for certain niches. So it happens, especially when you have higher volume. Getting 5 INRs in a span of 2 days can definitely happen. So I wouldn't be
Mhm,
super worried about that. I think you did the right thing refunding them. But
mhm,
unfortunately, yeah, that can kind of screw up your sales. That's happened to me. And when that happens,
mhm,
all you can do is list more, prune, snipe, substitute, whatever's working for you. But
mhm,
one thing I would recommend, kind of a more advanced tip for your management, if you have VAs, or just to add this in
mhm,
as a task, it would be
mhm,
to scan your Amazon accounts for delays. Because most of the time INRs are real. It's because of a delay or something, or an issue
mhm,
with the package. So when you scan your Amazons in advance, going back like 5 pages, you to the customer and say, "Hi, your order is delayed. I'm so sorry about this. I'd be happy to give you a 10% refund. Just want to let you know that it's on its way and it's going to be delivered by this date instead." Right? So something
mhm,
like that is, if you can do that effectively, it's going to stop most of your INRs, because most of your INRs are real. It's a delay,
mhm,
right? It's coming after the time you said it would come. So just having that in there to assure the customer, even if you added tracking numbers, right? Just having that extra assurance is going to keep your customer more calm. They just want to feel like they're being heard and that they're in control. So I would recommend
right.
adding that function, and whether you have VAs or not, just always,
Mhm,
wherever you're going, just have that in there so that you can take
mhm,
care of those orders in advance. So to stop more
right.
INR. So honestly, I think you were just unlucky, and I would try to prevent more INRs in the future. That's all.
Mhm.
So
Cool. So refunding them doesn't change anything.
yeah, even like in December, like Oliver, was using tracker bots. He had tracking numbers, and he got like 10 INRs in like a week. So like he got a bunch, or like in a couple of days. So like
Mhm,
it happens. You can get really unlucky sometimes. So I don't think
mhm,
anything crazy happened to you. I think it just hurt your sales a bit. And I would try to prevent more INRs from happening with great customer support, and letting them know when there are delays, and then just healing your account through more listing and optimization. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, one way would be to like have more sales. I listened to Caleb talk about the auction bit. I didn't fully get it. So I can run a sales event to increase sales. And what was the auctions part? I don't fully understand
The
it.
option is to just get stuff to sell. It's just a way to get stuff to sell. And if Caleb wants to explain it more, he can. But we were talking more in the context of like an account below standard. I don't think you desperately need to do that. But what
Yeah, it's not below standard.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
you're 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 not. I would just keep listing, and I was gonna say,
He
yeah,
might be too new. How old is his store?
his store is
um
pretty old. I think it's like 3 4 months.
no, yeah, this one's yeah, this is the like it's from 2020,
He's like
but
10K, 10K,
converted.
10K rev a month right now, so he's like pretty warmed up too.
Okay, okay, but what about how long you've been like in this position with like ecomsniper? Like how long you've been
Four,
with
four months.
ecomsniper?
Oh,
4 months.
July.
Oh, even
July. I
longer.
have another store as well.
Yeah,
Okay, so you got some skin in the game. But so the whole idea of the auction is
small,
the
small
main
numbers.
concept is to bring your sell through rate up. right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of waiting all the way to the end of the month to get to try to get your sell through rate. I don't know if you've ever seen that video where Sam is talking about like he already did all the deep research as far as like how your sell through rate is calculated. You should watch that video. It'll give you
Mm-hmm.
insight on
Mm-hmm.
why pruning work, why pruning works and what is happening in the background for your sell through rate to make sense, man, or
Mm-hmm.
for it to work to your advantage. And it's always going to be the amount of items that you sold, right? And the amount of items that you got listed. That's the equation that leads you to a sell through rate. So if you can put up the amount of items that you got sold when
Mm-hmm.
your store is scanned against how many items you have listed, let's just say right after you prune, your sell through rate is going to go up and therefore you're going to be rewarded more sales. But you got to also already be doing the work, which is consistently prioritizing customer service because that's going to give you sales, prioritizing a healthy account, right? Don't run shenanigans numbers like, man, price variations that doesn't make sense to eBay, like just trying to do all these mimics to get more sales. The system is a system that's calculating, that's scanning your store so it can tell that this is just shenanigans. Keep, man, try to give your store like a system that matches, man, your that matches your traffic, and then keep that as consistent as possible so you are recognized for that. That's how I for example the item not received cases that you guys are talking about. Though I got some of those and they never affect me. And in my opinion, it's because I never let my customer take control of the INR cases. I control the conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I never blame the carrier or anything like that. In fact, I sympathize with the carriers. These people are working very hard, and some of them are, they're working long hours, so mistakes can happen. It's entirely my fault. I'm going to go ahead and ship you a replacement. I get positive feedback for these people. I get them to buy other stuff, multiple other stuff. And when it's when it's somebody that's returning to buy from me, like my return buyer, and they didn't see it, I get, hey, like how you doing? A whole conversation. By the way, I didn't get the item. Do you know what might happen to it? Just because we've already have a relationship where they're like, I know you didn't do some shenanigans. That's the reason I didn't get my item. I know something had to go wrong. When you've already established that with your customer, eBay can tell that. They can see that because they can read all the messages. If you handle it that way, you won't see your sell drop. But if you're just trying to get rid of just refunding the buyer doesn't really, it doesn't really do much because you were gonna have
Mm-hmm.
to give them their money back anyway. So eBay, you don't get a cookie for that. But if you handle them, especially if you can get that buyer to buy something else from you or return back to you, I think that's when your store is going to start getting past the whole idea of your
Yeah.
matrix just drop just because somebody reported they didn't receive the item.
And Zob, I was also gonna add when someone opens an INR, before refunding them, you should definitely reach out to them. And at the very
Mm-hmm.
least, just like say, give them the delivery photo. That's something I always do.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, like Caleb was saying, just be nice to them and just kindly like kind of ask, like, hey, I saw
Yes.
the order was delivered, and this is if the order was delivered and they still open an INR, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just send that to them like, hey, this order was delivered. Here's the photo. Could you try to look for it? This and that, and
Mm-hmm.
if they say you can't find it, say we'd be happy to do a replacement or send you a refund. And I'd say like 20, a decent chunk of the time, they'll close the INR because they can find it. Also, if you
Yeah,
have,
50% of them fold if if you bring
yeah,
up like
yeah,
especially if it has a photo at least.
they'll just find it, yeah, and you can show them their front door. And then you can
Mm-hmm.
always add like USPS, UPS tracking numbers. If it's not a TBA number, you can add that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, aren't you in Australia? Sorry, whatever local.
Um, yeah, I do have an Australian account and also a US account, so I'm
Okay.
managing two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it's a non-Amazon number, you can just attach a local tracking number if Amazon used a local carrier. You can just attach that.
I'm using TrackerBot. I'm using TrackerBot
Yeah, but
for study as well.
TrackerBot will just put in the local numbers, and then all TrackerBot does is it'll change the number if it's an Amazon. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, that works. So yeah, so you're still getting them. So yeah, I think it comes down to customer support and just kind of messaging the customer first, and then
Mm-hmm.
trying to alert them in advance when there's a delay. Those two things.
Mhm. And they can close the INR case, yeah? So can I ask them directly to close it and send a replacement? Is that
Yeah,
allowed?
you can offer that. You know, it doesn't
Mhm.
work every time, but like I've had plenty of INRs get closed because I was like, hey, here's the item, you know, it got delivered. Can you try to look for it? They say no, I couldn't find it. I say, you know, hey, you know, I'd be happy then to maybe give you a replacement if you want to close the INR. Otherwise, I'll give you a refund. It's perfectly fine. And sometimes they'll close it and then you can send the refund. So good customer
Mm.
support will close a lot of cases. Yeah.
Mm. Gotcha, gotcha. So, okay, that makes so much sense. Thank you for that. Also, like, I'm still wondering, like, how does the auction help the sell-through rate? Are we giving it at cost price or a really low price? Is that why it helps with the sell-through rate? Because as long as
No,
my price is low, won't it just increase the sales anyway? How's
no.
the auction helping?
So the auction, for example, if you put, let's just say you put 100 items on auction, right? You put the
Mhm,
auction, it's gonna give you 3 days, 7 days, and I think 14 days. But you pick the 7 days, right? So that's
mhm,
1 week. In 1 week, right? 1 week from the time you start the auction is gonna end. All of those items that you got a bid on,
mhm,
these items gonna they're gonna mark as sold item because now you have to fulfill those items, right? You gotta ship those items or whatever the case may be. You gotta get those items to the whoever bid on them. So
mhm,
now let's just say, just for the sake of numbers, out of the 100 items you had up for auction, 25 out of those items had bid on them. So those items are now sold. Now you still have your regular stuff that are selling.
mhm,
Again, let's just say you had 25 items that sold throughout the day. Like, you know, you were getting maybe two, three, four, five items sold each day.
mhm,
And then that's the auction in on Sunday.
mhm,
Comes Monday, your account will look like now you have 50 items sold. The 25 that was the regular items you sold throughout the week,
mhm,
and 25 auction items that sold. So now your store will go up by 50 items sold, the 25 plus the 25 auction. That put your sell through rate up
mhm.
because
Yeah.
now you have more items sold compared to the amount of items you have listed. So if
Mhm,
you had you got 50 items, you got 50 items sold. Now let's just say you only had 100 items listed,
mhm,
your sell-through rate now would have been 50% because
mhm,
you got 50 items sold and you got 100 listed. So and you got 50% of your items being sold. That's how the sell-through rate, what I'm saying, would get improved. Now, I'm just using basic numbers for it to make sense.
mhm,
There's a lot more that goes into it, but that's how you would raise your sell-through rate to a certain extent, just to give you that little boost, especially if you're using strategy like pruning, getting rid of like
mhm.
listings that didn't work for the past 30 days or 31 days.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So, so these auction items, does getting a bid means it's sold? Because I can set a minimum price for it. If I don't get the right bid, it does unless it's matching the minimum price. How does it get sold?
Yeah, that's the main reason you can't use that. You might not be able to use that strategy yet, is because one, Jen is going to use that strategy because Jen is trying to get an account that's in a bad spot,
Mhm,
you know what I'm saying, out of that bad spot. So she's willing to actually lose money to get the
mhm,
sales and get the data that she's going to need to get out of the below standard. And on top of that, to get a higher sell through rate to make more sales and continue to make more sales. If you're not in that position, then you would have to
mhm,
be in my position, right? My position is I have a lot of items, right? I'm
mhm,
reselling and I'm drop shipping. So raising my sell through rate is not going to, what I'm saying, like hurt me in that area because I was going to get rid of those items anyway.
mhm,
But if you're not in these two positions, I mean, someone else could tell you if they believe that's a good idea or not. I think in your position, you should just boost up your customer service. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, start recognizing you for someone who care about your customer.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna boost up your your matrix. You know, I mean, like a whole lot. Your sales through your sales are gonna start going up because your matrix obviously is improving. I think that's the route you know, I mean, like you should take. Answer every message,
Mm-hmm.
every messages. You reach back to people who already sold. I mean, who already bought items from you, whether they left positive feedback or not. Especially
Mm-hmm.
the one that gave positive feedback. Reach back to these people. Thank you, man, for your business. You know, man, we truly appreciate you more than you know. If you have any other questions, or if you need anything else that you don't find in my store, reach out. You know, man,
Mm-hmm.
do stuff like that for eBay to recognize you as, I'm saying, like not as a
Mm-hmm.
drop shipper, but as a business. You know what I mean? I think that's the route you should
Yeah.
focus on rather than the auction.
Zoab,
Right, right.
I hope
Gotcha.
that helped. You know,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I got a couple of more questions as well.
sure. It's rapid fire.
So I'm thinking of doing AliExpress to
Ooh.
eBay in Australia, especially because I think the delivery time would be less. Yeah, so
Um,
should I keep the location as Australia
yeah, so
or
I did do some AliExpress. I kept the location as the US. So as long
right?
yeah.
Okay,
But
okay,
you want to do
gotcha.
like 5 day handling time and
Mhm.
yeah, because you want a lot of time, but things don't
Right.
come quicker in Australia, I think. 7 days. Yeah. It's a bit easier.
It's closer, so it should be quicker.
Yeah, I had issues with the ecomsniper lister not working for AliExpress. Because there's a lot of negatives to AliExpress, so I get it. It's not really built for AliExpress right now. So I had to find some workarounds. But I'm
Oh,
actually
I'm planning to do it manually because I didn't know it
awesome. Yeah,
would work
that's
even.
better. That's better, I think. Yeah, and you can do
Hmm.
like better item research. I think that's great. And again, the way I'm actually doing it now is like if something sells a lot, like, I'm just gonna buy bulk and just sell
Hmm.
it, manually.
Right, right, yeah. Yeah, that's the idea. I want to do some white label stuff just to
Yeah,
have like
I want to have my white label account, where I just
Mhm.
have stuff in my basement and ship it out. So
so
I think it's
so
great.
I have so from what I know, like to make the account safer, to like do 30% sales where I'm generating like eBay labels because I'm doing two-step drop shipping on Walmart, and the guy who's handling it, that's what they're doing. 30% they print Walmart labels so as to keep the account safe and long term. So I'm planning to apply the same approach to
Do it.
eBay.
No, that's not gonna hurt you. Definitely do it.
Yeah.
The more you do of that kind of stuff, the better.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, just one last thing. I have a very high limit of listing in Australia.
Great.
So is it okay to go past 10,000 listings? Because
Yeah,
then I don't have to,
I believe you don't even have to buy a new plan, right? You can just keep listing.
yeah, 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 it's like for the $24
Yeah.
plan, I can
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
25,000 listings.
I would keep going and I would prune, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you told me you didn't like it. I think you're okay with pruning. Yeah, no,
Yeah, I'm doing that.
yeah, good. Pruning is great because you get more
Mhm.
bang for your buck, right? You get more higher quality of listings. So I would prune. And
Mhm.
that'll cause you to go up slower, but I would keep listing. I would list like 200 a day and prune 100 a day. So like now you're going up
Right,
100 a day. I would just keep going. Like the more
right,
stuff you
right.
have, the more stuff that's gonna sell. Like it kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah, my only concern was that having so many listings, would that like is that a risk factor to go
Yeah,
beyond 10,000?
that's a great point. Because if you get a
Mhm.
bunch of everything but everything's based on percentages, right? So
Mhm.
you're not gonna get like a higher, you're not gonna have like exponentially more returns or cases, right? So honestly, I think mathematically you should be fine. Because maybe you're getting 4 INRs right now and that hurts you, but if you have 50K listings, maybe that's 5 times as many listings. You can get
Mhm.
20 INRs. It's the same thing. So it's you
Mhm.
get you because it's the same percentage.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think you're fine. Yeah, I think you're fine. My only
right.
worry would be like a low sell-through rate. So like I definitely recommend pruning.
Mhm.
Keep it low.
Pruning, yeah, yeah, yeah. I can do that.
Right.
Also, I'm running promo ads on the Australian account. Matt helped me set it up because I think things are a bit because I wasn't really getting any sales in Australia. So since I started running the promo ads, like the pay per click, it's not I pay in any case if whether I make a sale or not. So but like the results have been good with that. So I'm planning to like keep it going.
Yeah.
Is there because I heard I think Cal was talking about like to keep things consistent. So does that mean like now I always have to run these promos? So because this like that's how eBay has categorized me as. That's how they are giving me sales. So like is there any disadvantage to running like these pay per click campaigns?
You
Because it
know,
is costing me 12 to 15%.
but if it's getting you a good ROI, I think it's a win, right? If you don't like it, then I would just stop it. There might be a dip, but it's not like they're gonna destroy your account because you stop it, right?
Right.
You can always overcome any algorithm by just having superior account skills, whether that's customer
Right.
support or just better listing strategies. So
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. The understanding here is you're here to make money, right? So your strategy needs to be, what I mean, very thorough. Like you need to be very strict with yourself in regards to why you're doing this and for how long you want to do this. That's the main point. When we say we don't want you to, we don't think the new people or people who's in here for the long run to like jump from different things is you must do something before you know if it's going to work. But if you're
Mhm.
jumping one thing to another without ever figure out what's working,
Mhm.
that's probably not gonna, that itself is a bad plan. So
it's it's
that's all we're saying. So
it's
if it's working for your store and
that
you are
Mhm.
making money, keyword is you
Mhm.
are making money, right? Even if
Yeah.
it's dollar that's going, that's that's multiplying, right? Because that's
Mhm.
what
Yeah.
you make more money, then you're good. But if you're
Mhm.
doing a strategy and you are constantly losing money, that's how you
Mhm.
know you
then you
you
stop.
should,
Yeah, exactly. So just be very logical, and you can always feel free to stop. If you're not
yeah.
making, you don't have to keep losing
Yeah,
money.
and it needs to be
Yeah.
part of your plan. For example, for the long, for like my first month with ecomsniper, I've always sacrificed 3 to 5 items. So there are 3 to 5 items that I just take negatives on. I accept whatever
Oh yeah.
offers. I don't even care.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
now
Mhm.
I'm at a point where even when I try to do that, I still make profit.
Dude,
Mhm.
if I fulfill 1,000 orders in a month, like I'm losing money on 100 of them. Like it's like it
Mhm.
happens. So
So it needs to be part
Right.
of the plan. It needs to be
yeah.
designed in within your plan. If not, then the plan is working you, and that's never gonna end well.